Hello,
Hello.
hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to wherever you're tuning in from. So, today is such a special day for me because it's not only a huge month where we celebrate those individuals whom we care about so much, fathers, and all the other masculine roles in our lives, but it's also a reminder of, we're almost halfway through the year. What good have we done in the world? So this is so important. This is always important. It reminds me of a very powerful quote by Gandhi. And it goes, the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others. Mm,
Mm.
mm, mm. What about that, Sia?
Service of others. We get so wrapped up in our own lives, in our own heads of things that we need to do, feed the kids, you know, bathe the kids, feed the dog, feed yourself, right? That you tend to forget that there is an entire world out there that could use even just a little, even if it's just a moment of your thoughts and time. Like it matters, folks. For you to say, "Hey, how are you?" It matters. So I love that quote, and Gandhi just rocks. And you know how I feel about giving, so I'm a giver.
Absolutely. And this is one of the reasons why collectively as a group, we bond, we vibe, and we do, because we are creating impact as we move forward. So, this is a question that I'm asking you, audience, today. What are you doing today that is going to impact the future and your tomorrow for your communities and the world? So, with that said, guys, I would like to know where you guys are tuning in from. I always love to say hi and give shout outs to the people who, religiously come every Saturday and join us because it's important. This is a community of us connecting and coming together to do good. So, with that said, I really want to jump in directly to our honoring the guest today. I'm so excited. You
Well,
may
what
have.
do we
Mhm.
want to run the intro?
Oh, yes, we can actually. Absolutely.
Girl, you out of practice.
No, this is the problem. When we start talking and talking, I love that. But yes, yes, superstar. Let's go ahead and do it.
All right, let's do it.
Welcome to the Influencers Connection Corner.
And dance, and dance,
Okay.
and dance, and dance. I love it. See, yes, you are right. We may be out of practice, but it's okay. We got it. We got it. This summer, we getting it. This is the way I say it. We are getting it. Yeah, so my goodness. I know I got carried away just because this person, my gosh, our guest of today is just super amazing. So many of the things that we've lived together, together as a team, when we've gone out to Nashville, we've done so many different projects together. And I'm always amazed by his sheer just brilliance. Shout out Brilliant B Media.
What? 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 I'll
Yes,
take it.
I know, right? So we have grown together, on his own, he's just super amazing. But when we come together, it's just we rock people's worlds. And I love that because it's all about how do we maximize our talents and put them together in order to create greater impact in what we're doing. So without further ado, please, please, please help me welcome Mr. Chris Malizewski, amazing brother, friend, confidant, whatever you want to call it. There you are. Can't hear you,
Wait,
but there you go.
I know you do know the most favorite part of your show is the and
Uh,
dance. Can we and dance and
and
dance?
dance,
All right,
and dance.
I wasn't gonna miss that chance to do that with you two. So I had no choice. It's my
Oh,
favorite part.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Chris, for taking the time on this wonderful day to come here. I know as a father that you are, we're celebrating you this month, and you're an amazing, stellar example of a role model of a father. And I know you have to go after this, so we thank you for your time. But tell us a little bit about yourself, besides all the wonderful things that you already are doing out in the world, and the people may already know, but we just definitely want to introduce you to those folks who don't know about you.
Yeah. Well, first off, Raquel and Sia, thanks for having me. I feel like I'm that little gnat in your you know what that you can't get rid of. You just kind of allow me to buzz around the two of you, and I'm so appreciative because you both are so talented, and just so inspirational to me, and how giving you both are as well. So, but yeah, thanks for having me. And for those that don't know me, my name is Chris Malizewski. We're here most importantly to talk about my work and our work with Hail Hail Auctions. Most people on LinkedIn and those that have been aware of what you're doing, Raquel, or with who I am, may know me through the Walking Tall movement, and some of our advocacy through mental health. But we're here to talk about raising money for good causes and what we're doing about that and pivoting and all of those good things. So yeah, I basically, turned a bad experience into some good, and I've pulled you two along the way with me. And, we're impacting some really great organizations from a fundraising perspective.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And this is the wonderful thing that, once Golden Hearts unite, it's just like there's no other route but to actually create something that is like a super powerhouse, super house, how we want to call it, powerhouse. But for me, meeting you through mental health advocacy, this is how we pretty much came together through the Walking Tall movement, and how we launched, how we went out and started just pretty much inspiring other people to be able to talk, be visible, and talk about the vulnerability. There is power in vulnerability, and you know that I champion that. And so, just coming together, going to Nashville. Franklin, let's just
Franklin.
shout out Franklin.
Yeah.
But that was my first time. But living what we lived there, and all the emotions, the impact that we saw that happened during those 2.5 days. For me, it was just like, okay, this is it. This is where we need to be. And so, just coming together as a team, then building off of that, and then stemming into different directions, I'm just like, it's a no-brainer. So how, with me, one of the things that I've always admired about you is your sports background. So tell the audience a little bit about you and your pretty much your relationship with baseball.
Yeah. So I was fortunate enough. I earned a scholarship to play Division I baseball at the University of Iowa for 4 years, and loved every minute of it. Lettered all 4 years, and had a great time doing it. Getting an education in the Big Ten at a prominent Midwest institution was something I probably wouldn't have had happen to me if not for baseball. So I'm very thankful for the game. But even more so after that, I was able to start coaching. I was fortunate. Our head coach at the University of Iowa thought I was going to be a good coach. And whether he was right or not, I don't know. But I was able to do that for 10 years. I coached for about 3 seasons at Valparaiso University. And then I was fortunate enough to be brought back to my alma mater, the University of Iowa. So 10 years collectively as a coach, 4 years collegiately as a player, and a lifetime of memories due to the game. And the game has given me so much that the Walking Tall movement, had it not been for baseball, wouldn't have started, because I wouldn't have met Todd Blyleven through our mutual connection because of baseball. And so, yeah, it's not only helped me get an education, it's not only helped me have some great memories and stay in shape, but it's really helped save my life in many ways.
Yes, absolutely. And we love that, you shared so many aspects of that journey along with our audience and those individuals who know the Walking Tall movement and why it was started. Even though it may not be rooted in the most positive aspects of it, but the positivity that we're infusing for the future, that is what matters in making a difference in people's worlds. And so that is really, like I said, for me, that's one of the differentiating factors of who you are and what makes you you, and why you do the things that you do. But let's talk about this month. Let's talk about being a father. What does that mean to you? What does it signify, and what is the hope for you in your children's future?
Gosh, that's so loaded. And it's a great question because, I think being a dad means so much to me. And it always has, right? I have a daughter, Josephine, she's 9, a son, Lucas, who's 7. They're my best friends. If you're not following me on Instagram, that's kind of where I share who they are and the things we do. So that's kind of where you could check that out. But nevertheless, after my experience of being in a mass shooting, right, it really opened my eyes to what fatherhood really is, and what I needed to be differently to them, and who I needed to be for them. And so, as it is Father's Day coming up here soon, like, it's really eye-opening and exciting for me to now move forward as a single dad, and create a new life for myself and for my relationship with my kids. But I just have the best time with them. They're just so freaking cool. Like, my daughter's made the all-star team in soccer, and my son is playing baseball today, and he's taking, I mean, it's just so fun to see him grow up. And, just be their biggest cheerleader and supporter along the way, and do anything I can to raise them right.
Oh my gosh. Yes. To me, that is something that we have similar in common now. We're both single parents, and you will see how much more you're really going to be in your kid's life in that regard, just because every moment you want to savor, every moment you just want to take in and embrace it. And I have a friend who just says this: you will never live this day again, so make sure that you take all the little things and put it back there in your photographic memory, if you have one. But
Mm-hmm.
so I applaud you, I commend you for leading by example. And because
Thank you.
I know it hasn't been easy, but you are a trooper, you are an amazing powerhouse, and that's why we admire you. So but yeah, I'm so eager to see you evolve into this new chapter of your life. But now, talking about new chapter of your life, how do you find yourself, okay, on an auction floor? Like, that to me is like, it just came out of nowhere.
Yeah, well, actually, it may seem like it came out of nowhere, but in fact, it didn't, right? So, my previous, after baseball, I kind of call that my first career, my first life. Like I said, 10 years as a professional in the game. Then transition, excuse me, back home to the Chicagoland area and worked in Parks and Rec for 10 years. I worked for a really well known park district on the North Shore of the suburbs of Chicago. And it was during that time I created a fundraising event, actually. We called a sports themed banquet. We raised a bunch of money every year for the Park District Scholarship Fund. We had great keynote speakers: Fergie Jenkins, Dennis Savard, Ozzie Guillen, Mike Ditka, Chris Chelios, just Chicago legends. And I've been very fortunate to bring, some great people in my circle, because of my baseball experience. And so conducted this fundraiser for the last 5 or 6 years at the Park District I worked at, raised anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 in one night for the scholarship fund. And as things transition, right, I had to make another career change over the last few months. And while I'm passionate about walking tall and mental health, and that's still going to be carrying forward full fledged, I had to sit back and think, okay, what's next for me? What am I good at? What am I different at? How can I position myself not only that can better serve others, but that is really speaking and true to who I am authentically, right? And so I harkened back
Mhm.
on that experience of raising money at the park district I worked at, and then I would toil around. Some people would ask me to get on stage and do an auction here or there for a fundraiser, and I pretty well excelled at that. So yeah, just sat back and said, okay, what's next for me? And just ran with it. I had a great mentor in Chris Hensley, who sat me down and kind of showed me the ropes a little bit. And now we're doing things different. I think with Hail Hail Auctions, I'm not just an auctioneer. We're
Mm.
building a company to really serve other charities.
Mm, I love that. You know why? Because it really does summarize everything that it's evolving, how everything is progressing. And I know, Sia, you got to see a little glimpse of like what Hail Hail Auctions is about. So, do you mind chiming in and telling us the audience a little bit about it?
Sure, sure, sure. So, look, the thing about Chris, I just want everyone to understand is he's a big idea guy. I'm a self-professed Tasmanian devil of a lot of with my clients, but Chris is outspins me. He's way faster of a I don't know what other animal could be more of a Tasmanian devil than Chris? I don't know, a mongoose? I don't know, because I don't know. But that being said is this. Hail Hail Auctions really has grown legs, and Chris is such a visionary that when we started talking about it, we kind of just fed off each other, and he just kept saying, Sia, let's do this, let's try this, let's go with this. And it's grown into a wonderful collaboration and partnership between us, between Brilliant Bee Media and Hail Hail Auctions, which is, look, a lot of these nonprofits, these organizations are strapped enough as it is because their focus is fundraising for their community and that they're raising for, right? There's not a lot of, let's just say, luxury of overhead administration for definitely smaller organizations to do it all. And that's where Hail Hail Auctions can really amplify, maybe augment a lot of these efforts. So Hail Hail Auctions is not just throwing Chris up there on stage. It's really a collaborative effort with folks from the Brilliant Brain Media team, which Raquel, obviously, we know very well. But how else can we help these fundraisers be successful?
Mhm.
So that's really
You
ultimately my brain just kind of goes, this is it, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, no, Chris, when he invited me to Chicago, you guys, in May, and there's a reason why, for those on LinkedIn, why I've been silent and just reposting, it's because I'm slammed from the amount of work that Chris has thrown our way from May. So yeah, I'm still kind of doing social media personally, but not really, because that guy's keeping me hella busy. I see you laughing right now.
you hate me, but no, listen, you said it right.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
it's very. I don't want to use the word easy, right? It would be just as beneficial to me personally if I just was an auctioneer, right? Like I could go and be an auctioneer for these events and move on and just be transactional and support them for one night. But that's not who I really want to be. I want to develop relationships. I want to understand who some of these organizations are, what they're trying to do, their mission, and figure out how collectively we could put our talents together, Sia and Raquel, because you two are so kind to just believe in what it is I want to do, and therefore what we want to do, to better their mission. Because again, as Sia said, they're strapped. And
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
Raquel, I know you're interviewing me or we're discussing me, but people should know, like, you've helped out too. So Sia, I don't even think anybody here on LinkedIn has heard this yet. Can you get that up? For those that don't know, I've been very lucky, and Hail Hail Auctions is fortunate to be a sponsor of the Peanuts, Popcorn, and Cracker Jack podcast, which is a great friend of mine, Jeff Santo, and his wife, Christy. We're a sponsor of that show. They do great work. One of the top 5% podcasts in the nation, talking about the Cubs and entertainment and such. And being a sponsor of that podcast is an honor of ours. And Raquel was so kind to do the voiceover advertisement, if you will. So, Sia, will you play that?
I will do.
Hail Hail Auctions is Chicago's premier partner in rocking your fundraising goals. We strategize everything from one-of-a-kind auction items to big-time sponsorship acquisitions. Hail Hail Auctions is your VIP, very important partner that you need to maximize your fundraising. Head over to hailhailauctions.com and be sure to tell them Santa sent ya. Hail Hail Auctions is where money raised is love saved.
Now
Oh
you can
my,
add voiceover expert to your resume.
oh my God, y'all. Let me tell you that this was such a fun project. And it's just, I'm so honored, Chris. Thank you so much for thinking of me and how I can give back, using my talents or, I'm like, I've never done one of those, but let me try
Well,
it.
speaking of talents, this is where getting to know the two of you has really benefited me behind the scenes, right? Like I always said, and I say a lot anytime I make a silly post on LinkedIn or anything, like, you two are my big sisters. You keep me in line. You support me. You're real with me. And I've been able to understand, building baseball teams as I have, or being a
Mhm.
director of recreation. I feel like I'm pretty good at understanding people's talents and their expertise and what drives them. And Raquel, I've recognized so much in you, so much so that I'm trying to encourage you to get your auctioneer license, because I really think the world needs somebody like you to stand on a stage and be different, right? Like I'll say it, there's too many guys like me that are auctioneers, right? We need to
Mm.
diversify this industry. We need to speak to the heart of what organizations are and who they want to represent, and bring this industry differently. So not only are you our voiceover expert in house, but we're going to be getting you
Yes.
on a stage soon, I feel like.
And this is the beauty. So again, what if you had started, asked me like what, 2 years ago before I started on LinkedIn, and be like, where do you see yourself in 2 years, or at the end of 2024? One thing I wouldn't have said a voiceover person, nor an auctioneer, but it's a beautiful thing what connection will lead you to do, and it's a positive stuff, by the way, positive things. When you're with the right tribe, it is positive stuff. So the growth, the exponential growth that I've experienced over the last, I would say, year, it's been intense, but it's been so rewarding. And so just to add to that, the fact that we can be able to come together on a stage, and it could be a global stage, even though we can be impacting from Houston, Texas, from Chicago, Illinois, it doesn't matter, but it can be you're on a global stage now. How can we contribute back with our God-given talents and just really make an impact for our communities? And so, that's where my heart lives. That is what the language my heart speaks. Is how do I give back? And so, yes, this is going to be a new partnership that we're forming. So you'll see Raquel suited up on stage as an auctioneer, along, kicking it with Syya and Chris as well.
Yeah, and the good news is right. Not only um, will we bring you into the fold, but we're working with other people as well. Great talent that has a knack for being on stage, as a performer of sorts, but also has a heart of gold. What I'll say, in being in this industry for the short time I have, right? It's lucrative, right? You're working very hard for charities, but there's a lot of transactional individuals. Then that's what we're trying to change. And
Mm-hmm.
partnering with somebody like you, Raquel, and of course Syya being the mastermind behind it all, and podcast and media, and working with good people is what I want to do. I said it a couple of days ago, like, and excuse my French, but like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to deal with shit people, and I'm just not. And so working with good people, with good hearts, with good work ethic, who want to change the world through their work, is who I want to align myself with. And I found the two best partners so far in you both.
Oh, oh! Now you're gonna make me cry, and then
Don't
Sia's
do
like,
it.
"Oh
It'll
my
ruin your makeup. It'll
God,
ruin your
I know."
makeup.
Dude,
Sia's
okay.
like,
I think the challenge for you, Raquel, is there an episode you don't cry? That's your
"Yeah,
challenge.
that
Yeah.
is true.
Actually,
That
I
is
should try
true."
to make her mad. I'm really good at that too, aren't I? Like, let's not get her to cry. Let's get her to get mad.
Yeah, that would be very difficult. But speaking of charities, man, I want to give a shout out to a couple of the charities and the people whom we know in that world. For example, Peter from Rayo de Sol. Oh my God, Peter! I am so glad that we're gonna come together and really make things happen for Rayo de Sol in Nicaragua. I also want to shout out. Recently, I met up with Dr. Juan Osorto, who gifted me this beautiful thing. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's Friends of El Salvador, and y'all know I'm from El Salvador, so that's a really deep down in my heart. So check them out. I will be posting about them. So shout out to you and everything that you're doing for our women and children in El Salvador. Anyone you would like to shout out, Chris?
Gosh, where do I begin? But
I
that
know.
the truth of the matter is right. That's why I believe LinkedIn is a great platform to build a business like Hail Hail Auctions, because everybody who we're working with is authentic, right? And we can really provide a benefit to each, the charity that we're serving, as well as those that we're networking with, and bridge relationships and bridge donations and do things individually that can uplift so many, whether it be in Texas, Illinois, what have you. And so, Raquel, you're doing it already. You're networking with the right folks and meeting, um, some people who are on boards and own charities and things of that sort. So it's only natural for you to figure out a way to use your talents to raise money for them. But yeah,
Mhm.
the charities, gosh, I've worked with so many. I would hate to miss one. All I want to just say is I love all of our partners, and things are growing well, and
Mhm.
booking fast for fall 24 and already booking into 25. So now's the time to reach out and get to know me and Raquel and see what we could do for you folks, because we're having a lot of fun.
Yes.
We just want to help.
Yes, and that is the beauty. That is where the beauty lies, when you're able to actually enjoy your passion and what you do, and at the side you're putting bread on the table. Like, oh my gosh, that's what everyone really wants to achieve in life, and that is one of the goals that, as professionals, as soulful people, we really want to be able to find a way to fuse those things. And I think you found the perfect way in your world, Chris. And I'm just following in your footsteps. And I just think that you're such an inspiration to so many of us, that there is a way when there's passion, do not lose hope. So I mean, I love it.
Yeah. No, thank you. I mean, and really, like, I will say, before my experience, right, before July 4th, 2022, I was like not on social media. I was like doing nothing, frankly. I was, living my life and enjoying it and bobbing along. But now I hope people attribute, whether it's the Walking Tall movement or now Hail Hail Auctions, just attribute that to resiliency, right? And I hope that, if nothing else, not being a mental health advocate, not being a charity fundraiser, if nothing else, people are inspired by what I hope is my resiliency and my positivity through a pretty bad experience and something that knocked me on my ass. And so, yeah, I hope to be an inspiration, but not for some of those reasons, just to prove that like you could go through something pretty bad and still be in something pretty bad, but also thrive and excel, provided you have the right support and you're willing to accept it.
Mm, And may I say this? Doesn't he know how to say things and make him pretty and everything? This is one of the things that I've admired of you because my sometimes I say my English is not that very good looking as a joke, but just the way you're so eloquent, and I'm like, yep, yep. Just watching you work behind the scenes has been so inspirational, and just I take from your tips, I take from your mannerisms because they are. I mean, they work, and I love it. So, but
Well,
anyways,
thank
I
you.
think we had a question, Sia. I know this is a short program today, but I definitely want to be able to address some of those questions. Got some fans out there, Mr. Chris. Oh, look who that is. Well, shout out
My
to
man, Mark.
you.
So here's the cool thing about auctions, right? We can auction anything. There's two types. There's a silent or a live. The silent would be one where people are putting their bids on a piece of paper. It's a more of an elongated period of time where attendees to events and such. And that's more so, Mark, where you'll get your sports stuff, your smaller memorabilia items, sports tickets, concert tickets, etc. And then on a live auction stage, that's more of your big ticket items, where people would have trips, people would have experiences, sometimes, really high end memorabilia, art pieces, things of that sort. But the other cool thing about a live auction charity fundraiser is they have what's called an appeal or a paddle raise. And that essentially is just I'm on stage enticing, encouraging, energizing the crowd to raise their paddle at a certain dollar level as a straight donation. They're not getting anything in return as they would in an auction. And that's where it's a lot of fun and a lot of magic happens where people are raising their paddles,
Mhm.
at different dollar amounts and the crowd's going bonkers and I'm yelling like a madman. And I think on Monday I told Sia, I think I said baby on stage. We're doing it, baby, or something. I don't know what I said, but
Okay.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. Different ways to raise money, and whether it's a buck or a million, to me, every cent goes to the good cause. And so
Mhm.
I'm just working as hard as I can every night for those good organizations to raise us as much as we can.
Hustle with heart. That's what we're calling it,
I
right?
love it. That's
Hustle
a
with
good
heart.
one.
Sia.
Well,
I
no,
love
what I
it.
was just gonna say, what I was just gonna say was that the thing about auctioneering is it is so human element oriented, right? It's
Mm.
really all about your connection with the audience, whomever you are, whether you're an MC, rapper, singer, whatever. If you can connect with an audience, you can say anything and get away with it. So when you said baby at the, cure epilepsy event, which, David Axelrod and Lieutenant Governor of Illinois was in the audience, I thought it was hilarious. And you heard a lot of laughter, by the way. I was in the back of the room. Of course, they put the riffraff in the back, but you had everyone engaged. I think it's that
Yes.
sometimes you gotta shake people up a little bit just to get them stable again, right? Because we have walls that we put up. And whether even if we're at a charitable event, even something of like that scope of that gala, people still have their walls up. And I really liked your philosophy, which is, look, I'm going to go big. I'm going to get people uncomfortable, and then I'm going to make
Mhm.
them comfortable. And then once you get people comfortable, they trust you because now they're
Mhm.
like, oh, I've entered a safer space with
Mhm.
this individual. So shout out to you, Chris, because you have that gift to do it. And Raquel, you too. And I think that's where I think other auctioneers or aspiring auctioneers could really take a leaflet, a note, whatever you want to call it on that, because um, it's not rocket science, but there is a science to it to get the
Mhm.
most out of it, right? Anyone can be an auctioneer. Let's be honest. The question is, how much can you get out of the donors that are there to support a cause? And so,
Mhm.
yeah, no,
But it's listen,
authenticity
and
though,
that's
that's what you got to lead with.
yeah. Two quick things. A lot of how I live my life really is the principles of the Walking Tall movement, right?
Mhm.
Approachability, vulnerability, etc. those tangible skill sets, those characteristics play very well into being an auctioneer, right?
Mm-hmm.
I just come by it honestly. Like I tell people, like, here's what we need, here's what we're trying to make, here's who I am, and when you just get to the heart of the matter, right? Like people will trust you more. And so whether it's really talking about mental health or asking people to donate to another good cause, if you're just yourself and you can connect, wonders can happen.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's just a lot of fun. It's almost a performance, and Raquel, that's why I think you'd be so good in your singing talents and all of those things. Plus, you have a skill set that I don't, that I would imagine, I guess I know a ton of charities throughout the nation need, and that's someone who could speak many languages as you, right? Um,
Yes. And that is the avenue that, the point of perspective that I'm looking at it from, because how can I maximize the usage of my Spanish and the Portuguese, right? And how can I impact more communities using those talents and or skills, a skill set? But the other aspect that really drew me to it is, yeah, it's just really just being yourself, in a more refined way, but just naturally being yourself, putting yourself out there, entertaining. Well, we already know, we already do that. This is who we are as individuals in our real lives, like this is what I tell people: what you see is what you get in real life. This is me. And
mhm.
people are
Yeah.
taken aback because social media has done such a horrible job in really making people look like a facade, or wearing two faces. I don't know how you want to call it, but I'm like, no, this is what you get.
You almost have to work. And honestly, I feel, and I'm going to say one more thing about Hail Hail Auctions, but
Mhm.
to that point, Raquel, you almost have to work harder on social media to prove to people that you are who you say you are. Like,
Mm.
it's like, I literally have posted pictures of myself crying on LinkedIn, right?
Mhm.
And like, you guys know that I cry. That's the way it goes, right? People are like, yeah,
Vulnerability.
this guy wants
Yeah.
attention. No, I'm just me, right? Like,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
I hope through whether it's raising money or mental health, like people could just understand that being your better self, your authentic self, is going to serve you so much better, right? And
Mhm. Mhm.
and then the other
Yeah.
thing, okay, so transitioning off the life talk in my soapbox, Hail Hail Auctions, it's not just an auctioneer company, right? And that's where I think we are
Mhm.
bringing our hearts to the matter. We care about these charities. We
Yes.
want to uplift them. We want to support them as best as we can. We don't want to be transactional. So what we're trying to do is really invest ourselves, our talents in social media management and podcasting, and my expertise in fundraising and building campaigns and ways to leverage connections, and really being a robust service to some charities that we believe in their missions. Because once again, we're not just going to serve any charity. We're not here to take a check. We're not going to be
Mm-mm.
transactional. We got to learn about your mission. We got to learn about your people, where the money's going. Like there's a vetting process here because our name is on it.
Right.
And I want to make sure that we're really doing good in the world. Otherwise, I'm not doing anything.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Well, see, that's why you speak my heart's language. And, out of all of the languages of the world, you chose to speak the truth. And I love
Yeah.
that. I love that because so many people go through this life and in a very robotic way. I understand we all have to make money. We all have to make a living. We all have mouths to feed. But at the end of the day, why do we lead with that transactional mindset? It's not conducive to that positive end. For some it may, but does it really feed you at the end of the day? Like, it does it feed your soul? And that's how I approach anything that we touch, anything that we impact, any project that we join. It's because, what is the value the community is getting? Are we giving enough, or are we giving more back, or is this how is this structured? So we always take pointers on those things. However, we lead with kindness, we lead with the heart, and that has proven to stand the test of time. And I love it. I love it. But anyhow, your shirt. I wanted to ask you about your shirt.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
So if you don't
Oh,
know,
shizers.
this is not the rap group. This is not the rap group. It's the National Wrestling Alliance and our good friends over there. If you're not familiar, early on, well, I guess summer last year,
Mhm.
about a year ago now, the Walking Tall movement partnered with the National Wrestling Alliance. We raised a bunch of money for Cooper Roberts. It was called HP Cares for Cooper, and so I will forever be indebted to Billy Corgan and Joe Galley and Kyle Davis and all the guys and friends over at the National Wrestling Alliance. Not only have they helped the community that I was a part of, endure some trauma, but they're doing good and they're really trying to build a company. And for those that don't know, I love professional wrestling. I'm wearing my Hulk Hogan hat. Again, authentically me. So we're just supporting, the National Wrestling Alliance, everything they're trying to do. And I've been fortunate to do some work with Billy and Chloe. And I just think the world of them. So yeah, that's my NWA shirt. It's not Easy E and Ice Cube. Sorry.
Yeah, but no, oh my gosh, like
Although, hey,
the
they are a good time as well. But
Heck
oops,
yes, they
sorry.
are. I mean, come on. There's some good music.
so you both are such music fans. Like y'all can talk for hours on bands, and I'm just like, I don't know. But I'm learning through you guys. You're a huge Pearl Jam, but this event that you guys went to a few weeks ago, oh my gosh, like it must have been, I don't know, like music galore.
Well, Syya, has your jaw picked up off the floor yet from that week in meeting Billy and Rick
God.
Springfield?
Well, okay, look, peoples. I had to wash my hands. I did shake hands with Billy Corgan, who people don't know is the lead singer of Smashing Pumpkins. And if you see that picture I just put it up, he's the first guy on the left. And I was gonna say the bald head, and I just realized not, because there's another one.
You could be talking about me. What do you?
Oh, stop it! Stop it! All right, so no. Here's the thing what I think is really fascinating, where you have a value proposition, especially with Hail Hail Auctions. Okay. It's not just being an auctioneer standing up on stage, but it's your network, right? As I want to shout out Paul Deitch, your network is your net worth, right? He likes to say that on LinkedIn. And
Hi, Mom.
look at, aw.
We love you too.
Oh, love you too.
Jocelyn.
Right.
I'm sorry. That's more important. That's adorable.
No. So all I was going to say is this is the thing that I think people need to understand is when you're raising funds for events for your organization, it relies very heavily on the goodwill of the people that we've surrounded ourselves with. And so the fact that you have happened to be friends with Billy Corgan, and I'm a massive Smashing Pumpkins fan, you have made me an eternal fan of you, because I got to shake hands and I had a conversation and I got to attend the premiere of Adventures in Carneyland, which is on the CW. It's 8 episodes, you guys, if you guys want to check it out. And it literally is a story of Billy buying NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, because he's passionate about wrestling and he wanted to bring this league back. Same, you guys, as our passion with fundraising and giving our time to causes. I'm not a millionaire. I don't know about you guys, so I can't just throw money willy-nilly. So I have to give my time.
You can't.
Yeah, make it rain. Yeah,
right.
Clients you got.
So I'm going to just preemptively warn everyone that's listening right now is like, look, you're going to see a shift of me like posting on like fundraisers and charities. It's not because I benefit from it. I mean, it's these charities are going to benefit from it. So I'm warning everyone in advance, at least from Sya's perspective and Brilliant Bee Media, you're going to see a lot of posts of like, hey, if you could spare either time or you can spare money, or you can spend sharing to your network of people who have time and money, then please do. That's all we can ask. So that's my plead.
It takes one connection. That's all to change somebody's lives. And I've always said that.
Yeah. I mean, look.
In case it's taken 2 because I met you both.
Yeah, whatever. Aww. It's taking Chris for Rick Springfield to grab me and hug me. Okay, look, people. Rick Springfield freaking touched this shoulder. Sting touched this shoulder, so I have the dirtiest shoulders on earth because I have yet to wash either one of them. So there you go. It takes random relationships to get those connections you never thought you would, and that is the root of all things that we're talking about. With with you, Raquel, was the connection corner, right? You just never know what these types of relationships are going to get all of us. And everyone that's on that's chatting with us, you guys all know this too well. So I'm going to get off my soapbox here, but this is at the heart and root of authenticity, right? Networking with intention, without ulterior motives. Right? We're not trying to make money off of each other. We're trying to uplift one another. And yes, of course, people, if you end up working together or you start engaging other people for services, that's natural. But if you're doing it in a way where, hey, let's be really truly rooted in appreciating and valuing each other, then the money will follow.
Absolutely. Leading with connection.
And I say, listen, as it relates to raising money for other charities, right? I don't feel bad about collecting an invoice. We shouldn't feel bad about making money, provided we're making 1 cent more or $1 more for the organization that needs it more. right? We
Correct.
all have needs, and there's nothing wrong with that. But as long as with fundraising, hail hail auctions, and I particularly keep that mindset, the sky's the limit, and we'll serve as many organizations as we can, but it's going to be limited because, again, we're going to give full attention and we're going to be invested in those organizations. It's not going to be transactional. It's not just going to be me stepping on stage, auctioneering and leaving. Like, you're going to get this,
Yes,
for good or bad, but there'll be a lot of good, of course.
absolutely. Oh my
All
gosh.
right, ladies, I got to run because my
I know.
son, he's got his last baseball game. I'll let you do your thing. We have to finish more of this later, but I love the both of you.
Absolutely.
I'm
Chris, thank
sorry, everybody,
you.
but I got to go see my kid play baseball.
I love
All
you,
right.
Chris. Thank you so
Love you
much.
guys.
And
Thank
Bye,
you.
Chris.
we'll find
Bye.
more around about him and him taking his time. Like I said, that's a stellar father. That's a role model. I mean, I love this guy. He's amazing. But guys, this is what it's about. I'm so happy that that we were able to dig deep and down into the intricacies of what actually auctioning does and what it does. For how it changes lives for other people, for individuals, for philanthropies, for communities. And I see my daughter in the comments and I'm like, some of those organizations that are out there who are helping individuals like her, people, children with dreams and aspirations, and it's inspiring to be able to give back and be part of that effort as well, as we give back to communities. But before I forget, I know I've been seeing so many of you in the comments. Oh my God, I just want to name everyone, but I do want to wish a very, very, very happy, happy, happy birthday, Nick. We see you in the comments. Happy birthday, feliz cumpleaños, mi hermana. We love you. We haven't chatted in a little bit, but we will catch up. And then, it's amazing. I saw Steven, I saw Randy. Thank you so much, Dr. New. My gosh, there's so many of y'all.
Mark at Zen Sandwich.
Mark, yes.
Thinking that we were pre-recorded, by the way.
We don't do it that way, sir. We love to be live. We love to be interacting with our audience just because that's where the essence of the authentic feel is. And y'all know I don't do anything else but authenticity. So, hey, we love you. But yes, so there is a question, one last question, and I know we have to wrap up, but I'm excited, girl. Like, my heart is so full from all the possibilities and all the opportunities that are unfolding themselves in front of us. And I'm like, yes, let's go help.
Yeah, no, 100%. So real quick, shout out Jane Long and Denise Bachman as well.
Yes.
Love you, ladies. But since that, I had a question, which I thought was a really good one. And I just want to share it real quick because I think this would be a great way to close it out too, right? So,
yes,
he asks, where do you see the field of auctioning going into 2025, Chris? So since Chris isn't here, I talk to Chris enough, you guys. I think I can answer this question, which is it's limitless. The opportunities, I think he said there was 30,000 charities in Illinois alone, right? And imagine, you guys, auctioneering in general, live auction, like humanoid in front of another humanoid, not the passive online auctioning, but in person, you really only have maybe 4 days a week, to actually do this, right? So 4 to 200 days basically that you can auctioneer. So if you got 30,000, I think it's like 60,000, but anyway, I'll just say 30 to be, non-exaggerating. You've got 30,000 charities. If any of them decide that they want to do a live person event, and you only have 200 days that you can actually be effective. I mean, you could try to do 2 auctions a day, like one in the morning, one in the evening. Okay. That's still not enough. There is a shortage of auctioneers out there to raise and do good. And think about this, you guys. Some people are like, oh my God, you're constantly begging for money. Think of it. How many people have spent and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars on GoFundMe for a situation that made the news, for a dog that got abandoned? And I'm not diminishing the dog. Do not. What I'm saying is even if you were just to donate $1 a day to a charity, that dollar times 1 million people matters.
Absolutely.
Even if it's 100,000, 50,000, 10,000, 5,000, you guys, it matters to everyone. So auctioneering, I think, has a limitless opportunities, especially for people like Raquel, who can speak multiple languages and cater to an audiences that may have not been reached prior.
Mm.
There's a lot
Mm-hmm.
of affluent minorities out there that may or may not be speaking English. Like, look, and
Mm-hmm.
it's just a random text or a random factoid that I read the other day, which is the Chinese people have been buying up real estate left and right. There's money here. Saudi Arabia, okay, there's money. You don't think we can't hold an auction in Arabic, in Chinese, Mandarin,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, come on, folks. So
Oh yeah.
anyway, that's all
Oh
I'm
yeah.
gonna.
No, but that is the answer to that, Sincera. It's limitless. It's really, there are endless possibilities of what we can do with that via that route. And for me, more than anything, it's creating a greater impact. I have a fervent desire to just be able to create the biggest impact that you can think in all sectors and impacting lives in the most positive way as possible. And if I can be conducive to help with that, heck yes, I'm going to be hail auctions. I'm going to be there. That's what I love to say. We're going to send you straight to hail. Oh my God. I love how much fun we have. Y'all should see, yes, this is about, at the end of the day, what can we do together? But we have so much fun, genuine fun, camaraderie, just collaboration. There are so many wonderful and beautiful things that have been born out of collaborating with you guys along these year and a half, that I would say almost 2 years that I've been on this journey. There are so many more that I cannot wait to explore. For example, I literally just went to a networking event here in Houston that was literally like Adrian Leal. Shout out to you, my brother. I saw you in the comments. Dolores Townley from the Rockets, from the Houston Rockets. Elizabeth, also you. I mean, good. I mean, like I said, sending you lots of love. Ray, Lit, like, thank you so much for the invitation. It's like VIP treatment. Like, I love it. I'm just like, yes, give me more of those, just because we have so much opportunity to meet so many individuals who are key leaders here, in our city, Houston. I'm talking about Houston, but we're talking about everywhere in the world. Allison, I met you in person finally after years of being virtual. Andrea Sapp, oh my God, there's so many of you guys. IBM was present, Dell was present, Logitech was present, 3M was present, like so many individuals fusing sports tech. We had such a blast, no joke. And just the diversity and the inspiration that I took away from that is just like, I want more. I want more. So before we close out, shout out to Reno Dudley. I had a wonderful conversation with you. Dre Brown. Oh my God, the talk I had with you and about Dove, and whoo, I'm gonna get just super inspired. But there are so many possibilities, guys, and this is just for it's up for grabs. If we don't take the opportunity to put ourselves out there, we're never going to be heard. So what do you have to lose? That is my thing. What do you have to lose if your voice is able to amplify the voices of many behind you who are scared and fearful just to talk? Then you know that you are being a leader. You know that what you're doing is impactful. So why do you not do it? This is what I tell people: just go ahead and do it. There, people are going to judge you regardless. But at the end of the day, my fear, or the weight of me not doing anything and staying stagnant, outweighs the fear of actually putting myself out there. So that's why on a daily basis, I continue advocating for individuals. I continue advocating for Latinas, for women, for children, for men, for everyone, because I have love to give. And it all boils down back to love and kindness. Okay, before I get off on that, I know we gotta go. But thank you so much, guys, and I hope that you walked away and that you took notes and that this inspired you to venture out, to create something new, and to just be able to explore. At the end of the day, if you don't put yourself out there, no one's going to hear you. So, with that said, guys, we will check back with you in a couple of weeks. We'll have another stellar, for Father's Day, a stellar program and a stellar panel. And I'm so excited to look forward to it. And if we don't talk back then, in the future, we love you. Just know that we're here. Connect with one another in the comments. This is worldwide, it's global connections. And I'm always one message away from you. So, remember, we love you. We are here and we're never alone in this journey. Okay? Hasta la vista.
For joining If you enjoyed today's show, please subscribe and follow us for the next episode.